Good day, everyone. Today, we are going to explore a very important aspect of language learning, teaching and assessing speaking. Speaking is one of the core skills in communication, and it plays a vital role in how students express their thoughts, ideas, and feelings in English. So, in this report, we will look at how speaking can be effectively taught in the classroom and how teachers can assess students' speaking abilities in ways that support their growth and confidence. So, together with me is Miss Brittany Padilla, Miss Neka Pendon, and Mr. Pursima. So, before we begin, let me share with you our learning outcomes for this topic. So, first, discuss the importance of speaking. Identify activities that promote the speaking skills of the students. Explain the teaching speaking model. Select differentiated learning tasks in teaching speaking to suit learners' needs, interests, and experiences. Prepare a learning plan in the teaching of speaking and develop rubrics that assess students' speaking competency.
Good day, everyone. So before we start, let me introduce myself first. So my name is Nakashana Arkalapindon, and today I'll be discussing the topic speaking and its importance. So first, what is speaking? Speaking is the process of sharing meaning through the use of words, tone of voice, and even body language. It's how we express ourselves in a conversation, discussion, or presentation. But speaking isn't just about talking. It's actually a multi-skill activity. That means when we speak, we're doing several things at once. We're choosing our words, organizing our thoughts, adjusting our tone, and even using facial expressions and hand gestures. All of these happen quickly and naturally in real-time conversations. Now, why do we speak? People speak for many reasons, but we can group them into three major purposes. So first, we speak to express our ideas or feelings. For example, when you tell a classmate, I'm so stressed about this project, you're sharing your personal feeling. This is important for connection and understanding. Without this kind of communication, it would be hard to build relationships. So second, we speak to persuade or convince others. Imagine you're campaigning for a school position. You might say, vote for me because I will listen to your concerns and work hard for our class. You're using speech to influence people and change their minds. And the last one, we speak to inspire or influence action. So this is often used by leaders, teachers, or even students during group work. So for instance, saying, let's work together and finish this on time can encourage others to take action and be part of a team effort. So as we can see, speaking plays a huge role in our daily lives, at home, in school, and eventually in the workplace. So next is we let's proceed to the next slide. So to speak effectively, especially in a second language like English, we need to develop three major skills. So we have the three. So first we have vocabulary, second is grammar, and the third is pronunciation. So let's go through each one with examples and explanations. So first is vocabulary. Vocabulary is a collection of words that we know and use. The richer our vocabulary, the more clearly and accurately we can express what we want to say. So for example, instead of always saying nice, we can use more specific words like fantastic, amazing, or enjoyable. So if you say the movie was amazing, it's much clearer and more expressive than just saying nice. So we have ways to improve our vocabulary. So first, in reading books, magazines, or online articles. Also, we can watch English language TV shows and movies, use mobile apps and games like Wordscapes or crossword puzzles, or we can try writing a short journal to apply new words. So remember, the more words you know, the more powerful your speech becomes. So the second one is the grammar. Grammar is a system of rules that helps us structure sentences properly. Even though perfect grammar is not always necessary in conversation, using correct grammar makes our message clearer and easier to understand. For example, we have here the correct and incorrect sentence. sentences rather. So the incorrect one is she don't like pizza, while the correct one is she doesn't like pizza. So as we can see, even small grammar errors can confuse listeners or lead to misunderstandings. That's why it's important to learn basic grammar rules like verb tenses, subject-verb agreement, and sentence structure. So don't worry about being perfect. Focus on being clear and correct most of the time, especially in formal situations like school presentations or interviews. So the third one that we need to develop in speaking second language such as the English language is the pronunciation. So pronunciation is about how we say words, and it plays a big part in how well people understand us. So it's divided into two types. So we have here the segmentals and suprasegmentals. So the segmentals, these are the individual sounds in a word like consonants and vowels. So for examples, the words ship, which spells SHIP, and the word ship, which spells SHEEP, are different because of the vowel sound. If you mispronounce them, it could lead to confusion. Next is the suprasegmentals. These include things like intonation, which means your voice is whether going up or down. Next one is the stress, which syllables are emphasized, and the rhythm, like the flow of your sentence. For example, the sentence "I didn't say you stole the money" changes meaning depending on which word you stress. Stress on you, that means someone else did it. When you put the stress on stole, maybe you borrowed it, not stole it. So this shows how important suprasegmentals are in expressing a real meaning. So good pronunciation helps others understand us easily, and it boosts our confidence in conversations. So that's all about my report. I'm passing the virtual floor to the next reporter. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I'm Catherine Ogong, and I am the next reporter for this topic. So, today I'll be discussing an important topic in teaching and assessing speaking, and that is speech register. Okay, so let's begin with the question: what is speech register? So, when we talk to different people, we don't always speak in the same way. So, for example, we speak differently to our teachers than we do to our friends. We also change the way we speak depending on where we are, whether we're in school, at home, or at a formal event. So these changes in our language and tone are the what we call speech registers, no? So a speech register is the level of formality and style we use in speaking based on the situation, the audience, and the purpose of our communication. So, before we speak, we need to ask ourselves three important questions. The first one is, why am I speaking? So, this is about the purpose, no? Are you informing, entertaining, or convincing someone? Second question, who am I speaking to? Is it your friend, your teacher, your parent, or a stranger? And then the third question is, what is the occasion or event? So, is it a classroom setting, a job interview, a church, or just a casual hangout? So, these questions help us no to choose sa tama nga register or the right register or the appropriate way of speaking for every situation. And now, let us talk about the five types of speech register. So, I'll explain each one with simple examples po, so you can relate them easily. So, the first speech register, the first types of speech register is the frozen or fixed register. So, this is the most formal and unchanging type of speech, no? So, it's called frozen because the words are always said exactly the same way, no? And they never change even over time. So, you usually hear frozen register in ceremonies or traditional events. So the language is fixed, no, and memorized and respected. So examples for that is the Philippine National Anthem, the Lord's Prayer, the preamble of the Constitution, and the Shakespearean plays or laws. No? So in frozen or fixed register, you don't need to edit or improvise these lines. No? So you say them exactly as they were written. So that's the first speech register. The second one is formal register. So formal register is used in professional and academic settings. So the tone is serious, respectful, and it is structured. So when using formal register po, so the speaker uses complete sentences, and it avoids using slang or casual words, and sometimes uses technical or academic terms. So this kind of register, no, so nagagamit siya when we speak to a large audience or when the situation calls for respect and order. So examples for this, no, the speeches, sermons, announcement, and also judicial pronouncement in court. So in this type of speech register, no, the formal register. So when you give a report like this one or speak during a school program, you're probably using a formal register. And now, let's go to the third type, the consultative register. So this type is still formal po, but it is interactive. So that means both the speaker and the listener participate in the conversation. That's the consultative register. So it is commonly used when the speaker has more knowledge or authority, but still needs to interact politely with the listener. So examples for this po is a doctor talking to a patient, a teacher explaining something to a student, and a lawyer guiding a client, and also a counselor helping a student. So consultative register, no, in these cases the speaker po still uses polite and clear language, but also allows the listener to ask questions or give feedback. So the consultative register is respectful but also responsive po. So that's the third type of speech register. The fourth one is the casual register. So this is what we use in our everyday conversations with people we're close to po. So just like our friends and classmates. So the language is like ano na siya, normal, relaxed. No, the language is relaxed and informal, and often includes jokes, slang, or personal expressions. No, so there are no strict grammar rules sa casual register. So what matters most here is that you understand each other po. So examples of this were group chats, talking with teammates, and messaging your best friends, and also laughing over something funny in class. No? That's the casual register. So the goal here sa casual register is to give comfort and connection but not formality. So that's the casual register. So the fifth one is the intimate register. So finally, we have the intimate register. So this is used between people who are very close to each other po, like the family members, partners, or best friends. So in this register, so there are often very few words because the people understand each other so well, no? Sometimes even just a look or tone or touch can say a lot. Just like examples po, a mother comforting her child, a couple whispering to each other, and siblings talking about something personal. So in this register, no, it shows deep emotional connection and trust. So those are the 5 types of speech register, no. So I will dictate it again. So the first one, we have frozen or fixed register, the formal register, the consultative register, the casual register, and the last one is the intimate register. So to sum it all up po, we all use different speech registers every day, no? Sometimes without even realizing it, we use the speech register. So knowing which registers to use help us become better communicators po. So it shows we it shows na we are aware of our audience. We respect the situation and we are capable of expressing ourselves properly. So whether you're giving a formal speech or chatting with friends or talking to someone you love, speech registers guide us in how to say things the right way. So that's the speech register po. And that ends my report. Thank you for listening and I hope this helped you po understand the topic better. So, once again, I am Catherine Ogong and I'm passing it to the next reporter. Thank you.
Hello, good day everyone. I am Mr. Yorens Porisima, your next reporter in Speech Act. So let's start. Speech Act refers to an utterance expressed by an individual that presents information and performs an action as well. The Speech Act theory of Austin and Searle, 1971, captures all the possible function of language by classifying the sense of action that can be performed by speech. It is categorized as locutionary, illocutionary, and perlocutionary. So, a speech act is when someone says something that shares information and also does something like making a promise or giving orders. That is according to Austin and Searle's theory. Speech act shows how we use language to perform actions. They divide this into 3 types, and that is the locutionary, illocutionary, and perlocutionary. So the locutionary act involves creating expressive meaning through an utterance reflecting the literal sense of what the speaker communicates. So a locutionary act is an actual expression or the literal meaning of the words spoken. It is about the basic, straightforward message, what is said without considering the intent or effect on the listener. So that is the locutionary, and an illocutionary act conveys an intended meaning or purpose behind the utterance. It serves as social function, focusing not just on the act of speaking, but on the reason for saying something. And that are the illocutionary. The illocutionary act is giving a command or request. So the illocutionary is giving command or request. It focuses on the reason or function of the speech, like asking, promising, or warning. So here I have the example of each speech act. First is the locutionary act, the act of making an utterance with literal meaning based on what the speaker says. So here's the example. The sky is blue. This is just the literal meaning of what the speaker observes. And the second is illocutionary act, the intended social purpose or function behind the utterance of examples, including stating opinions and making a request, or giving advice, or issuing orders. So, ang illocutionary act is highlight diri is making a request ng, so here are the example. Can you pass me the salt? So that is the request. So while it is phrased as a question, the social purpose is to make a request. So the last one is the perlocutionary act, the effect or response elicited by the utterance on the listener. So here are the example. Watch out for the car. The listener steps aside and to avoid the car. The effect is the action taken by the listener. So that's all from my part. Thank you and God bless.
Hey everyone, my name is Brittany Padilla and now I'll be discussing speech delivery. One way of categorizing a speech is the way it is delivered. The types of speech delivery are impromptu, extemporaneous, manuscript, and memorized. First is impromptu speaking. Impromptu speaking involves delivering a message on the spur of the moment without preparation and predetermination. The speaker is provided on the spot with a topic and he will say something about it. The speech could be as professional as feedback on a project or as informal as message during birthdays and other celebration. While it might feel nerve-wracking even to the most experienced speaker, giving an impromptu speech is a test of an excellent communicator. So this type of speaking truly tests a communicator's ability to think quickly. It can organize thoughts clearly and deliver them with confidence. Since there is no time for preparation, the speaker relies heavily on their ability to stay calm under pressure, draw from their existing knowledge and experiences, and connect with the audience in real time. This kind of speaking showcases essential communication skills like clarity, brevity, adaptability, and even emotional intelligence. Next is extemporaneous speaking. Extemporaneous speaking consists of delivering a speech in a conversational fashion using notes. This is planned and prepared, but the speaker uses an outline only as reference while speaking. This is the style most professional and experienced public speaker prefers since the extemporaneous method of delivery has a more natural flow. This is also the style of speech delivery for speaking contests. Speakers are given topics 20 minutes prior to the speech, after which they delivered 5-minute talk. It depends on the guidelines set for the extemporaneous contest. So this type of speaking is where the speaker talks in a conversational and natural way while using notes or an outline as guide. Although the speech is planned and prepared, it is not read word for word. Instead, the speaker uses the outline to stay on a track while sounding spontaneous and engaging. Next is manuscript speaking. Manuscript speaking consists of reading a fully scripted speech. It is useful when a message needs to be delivered in precise words, like the State of the Nation address of the President of the Philippines. This is used when people read important statements or when people deliver reports in public that would require exact word and correct order. So this style of speaking is commonly used in a situation where the content cannot be changed or misinterpreted. It is often seen news report, formal announcement, legal declaration, and presentation of research or even in the official data. So the goal of this speaking is to avoid errors and ensure that the message is communicated exactly as intended. Lastly is memorized speaking. Memorized speaking is delivering a scripted speech from memory. So in the manuscript is you are reading a fully scripted speech, while in the memorized speaking is you are delivering a scripted speech from memory. Memorization allows the speaker to be free of notes. However, there is stress associated with it since it will entail the speaker to commit to memory what he has to say. So this type of speaking involves delivering a speech that has been written, rehearsed, and committed entirely to memory. So this method allows the speaker to speak confidently without relying on notes or script, which can enhance eye contact, also body language, especially the overall delivery. It can make the speaker appear more polished and in control. That's all our report. I hope everyone learned something.